My name is Emanuel Tanne. I began my career with interest in corneal surgery and moved to this area in 1973. I became medical director of an eye bank which we formed in 1975, and at that time there was no eye bank directly in Portland. Because the resources were so overwhelmingly positive to produce an eye bank, I really had no thoughts that an eye bank would fail. It never came to my mind. The nature of eye banking initially was a local activity in 1975, collected in a region of Portland and out suburbs, so forth. One could reach those hospitals quite easily. But after a while, when donations became available more remotely in the state, we had no way to collect that tissue. The ideal thing is to have a bunch of enucleators that you can position all across the state. The original concept of mine was to use a lion in each club and train them to be enucleators. But the funeral director became a more logical idea. They're all over the place. They deal with a difficult subject area. They know how to speak to families in the most traumatic circumstances. And my great surprise was how rapidly they wanted to be trained and get involved and do this community service. There was no pay for them. It was purely volunteer. In that first year, in the first 6 months or so, we must have trained at least 50 or 60 of them. But also, Governor Straub signed into law the legislation making it appropriate for licensed embalmers to do enucleations. Now that I'm older, I'm becoming impatient, so I'm understanding it a bit differently. But anyway, it's hard to understand when you don't have useful vision or poor affected vision, what it's like to have real vision that you can drive a car or accomplish things that you thought you could never do. I was amazed how just doing one eye in a person who had no vision in either eye was enough to change them dramatically. They began to go to school, they looked at higher education, often achieved higher job levels, and indeed became sort of a changed personality for a little piece of corneal tissue.